Hi, it's Warren Huart here. Hope you're doing marvelously well. Today I'd like to talk about a microphone that I'm trying here. It's a Lewitt microphone, and even though it's a what I would call a high-end microphone, it doesn't have quite the high-end price of some of the most expensive ones. What I'm digging about this mic for its features is it's about a $1,600 microphone, but it's a tube microphone and it has a FET in it. It's FET, it's tube, it has hyper, super, cardioid, figure of 8, omni patterns, has loads of pads, loads of roll-offs. It offers a lot of features for the money. Please subscribe to the email list below. You can go to producelikeapro.com or go to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you go to producelikeapro.com, we'll send you a bunch of free things to look at. You'll get exclusive videos on Vimeo, etc. So please go there. Okay, so let's check out the features on the Lewitt mic. Okay, so here are all the different things that we can do with this microphone. If we start off the left-hand side here, we've got a pad control. At the moment it's set to no pad, 0 dB. We can go down -6, -12, and -18. So that is a lot of options for a pad. So they're obviously very confident on their capsules here that they can take some abuse, because a -18 dB would imply a lot of output that you're putting in, so that fills me with a bit of confidence. We could try this on a bass amp as well. It might be kind of nice on an acoustic pulled back a foot or so. I think it'd be fantastic too. And, if you go to the full right here, before we talk about these two areas, you can see that we've got a linear, straight through, no roll off. We've got a 40 Hertz roll off, a 150, and even as much as a 300. So that's a lot of options. If you've got super boomy, if you've got overheads in a live situation, you've got, you're recording a band live in your studio, that could be really amazing to have a microphone like this that is going to get rid of a lot of the low rumble coming off the stage, and you're just trying to mic an individual instrument, like such as an overhead or a mandolin or something like that. Lots of options here, so it's very versatile. Okay, so now let's talk about the amp options that you've got inside the unit here. If we go to the full left and it lights up right, that's the tube. If you go to the full right and it lights up on that, that's the FET. Now we're going to get to hear what the difference is between those two. And then, of course, in the middle here is a blend, an exact blend of both of them. Now, we're not going to have time to sit here and try, 50 different variations in this video, but obviously you could sit there and blend between the two. Now here we have our polar patterns. If we go to the full right, it's an omni, and then it basically becomes a blend all the way through to a supercardioid. So basically you go from omni to supercardioid. So you go from seeing all the way around the microphone to a very narrow focused image on the mic. And then if you go one step further, it's a figure of 8. So, which would be really useful if you're using it, you've got two background singers and they're singing on the same mic. So it makes it an unbelievably versatile mic. Figure of 8, supercardioid, I suppose hyper, then, supercardioid would be there, hyper would be the blend between the super and the hyper, then cardioid, then I have no idea what you call a lesser cardioid, but that would be it. A slightly wider one, developing to, of course, an omni all the way over there. So lots of versatility. I will definitely sing on a cardioid, and we'll get to hear it on that, just because, singers, unless they're, seasoned professionals, have been doing it for years. I had the honor to record Steven Tyler, and Steven has the most incredible mic technique. But he's been singing and making records for over 40 years. So he's just on it the whole time. And obviously a very balanced voice. But a guy like me who's not really a singer, who just does background vocals on records, I'm going to keep it on cardioid because my technique is probably going to be a little a little squirrely compared with an incredible singer. Okay, let's have a listen to it. Okay, so this is the FET, and we've got it set on cardioid. There's no roll-off. I'm not worried about the low lows. If I had a baritone singer in here with a big boomy voice, I might do it then. But I'm certainly not a baritone singer with a big boomy voice. I'm not a bass singer or whatever. So let's try it. FET and cardioid. Here we go. It's clear he lives a disposable life, leaving a trail of destruction behind. Okay, so that was 100% FET and cardioid. Now, I want to hear what the hyper and the supercardioid is. So if I bring it over one click to the right, that's now a blend. But I don't know if this is going to be a really useful thing on different singers. Personally, 1 2 2 2 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. If you listen to the proximity effect, it's really great around there. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. So that's a blend of the two. This is full supercardioid. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. To get that same bass boost, that proximity effect, you have to get right up on it. Now, I think personally, most high-end condensers stay in cardioid for a reason, because unless you're an incredible singer with the best vocal technique ever, you're probably going to find that you're doing this. You're singing around a little bit, not necessarily as off-axis as this, but most singers will move their head a little bit, especially if they're emotionally involved in the song, which, frankly, you're hoping for. So I'm going to keep it on cardioid for these tests, and I'm not going to go to the super or the hyper. I can hear the difference, and I think it's phenomenal. And I think if you're going to use this to mic, say, a bass, a stand-up bass, a contrabass, this could be an amazing feature, because you get those really weird wolf tones as they call them, on basses. And if you're moving a mic around and it sounds great, but occasionally this just boomy note comes out, you could try changing it to the super or the hypercardioid blended sounds, and I think that would do an amazing job. But for a vocal, for me, bearing in mind I'm not the world's greatest singer, and I am going to be moving my head a little bit, I don't have great mic technique, I'm going to keep it on cardioid and experiment with the FET and the tube preamp. So we're back to cardioid. This is now set to 100% tube. It's clear he lives a disposable life, leaving a trail of destruction behind. That's pretty special, the tube sound. That sounds like a tube mic. There's a little bit of benefits from both. I think we'd have to try lots of different sources to see which would be the best benefit for each. That tube sound there, I like that. When I say it sounds not as dynamic, what I mean is things feel like they're being pushed to the front a little bit more. Like I can hear just a bit more detail on the top, and I'm definitely a low mid kind of boost. So those frequencies are sort of pushed up a little bit, which I love, because it makes the vocal in a mix feel like it's out front without being loud. It's easy to turn up a vocal really, really super loud and make it the loudest thing in the mix. But this, if you've got a lot of presence, you've got a lot of body on the vocal, a lot of air, a lot of mid, everything you need to make a vocal feel like it's just sitting there. You don't have to boost it so loud. You can just kind of have it there, and it will have its own space. There was a beauty in the two together, because the sort of harder sound of the FET mixed with the low mids and the sort of extended top range of the tube was kind of nice. Which is this sound. One more time for this. It's clear he lives a disposable life, leaving a trail of destruction behind. That's pretty cool. So I think there's a lot of things to try there. Now, of course, you've got lots of different functions. If you had, like I said, really super boomy vocalist, you've got all the way up to a 300 roll-off there. Not that you would go that high, but you could, you've got a lot of selection. You've got a lot of pads there. So it's a really versatile mic that sounds fantastic. And, we can compare this against the U47 that I recorded before. So we can hear a little bit of the U47 in there. Okay, so here we are. We have my Neumann U47. This is a mic built in, I think, 1953. And it has all the right things that you're supposed to have. It's a very expensive mic. Has an incredible pedigree. It's been used on many huge records. It's probably worth about $15,000 in the current market. So let's try it out. It's clear he lives a disposable life, leaving a trail of destruction behind. Cool. Let's go and compare those. Okay, so let's do some listening. Let's check out the different patterns on the Lewitt, and then let's hear the 47. Okay, so first up, we've got the Lewitt Infect. It's clear he lives a disposable life, leaving a trail of destruction behind. I like it. It's a little hard sounding, probably for my voice. I don't have a super rich voice. So let's go to the Lewitt in tube. It's clear he lives a disposable life, leaving a trail of destruction behind. Definitely much better. Loads more warmth in there. Let's listen to the blend of the two. It's clear he lives a disposable life, leaving a trail of destruction behind. Cool. Now let's listen to the U47. It's clear he lives a disposable life, leaving a trail of destruction behind. The 47 definitely has that classic tube feel, and I think that the Lewitt tube mic itself has that same kind of feel. Back to the Lewitt tube. It's clear he lives a disposable life, leaving a trail of destruction behind. Thanks ever so much for watching. The Lewitt Authentica LCT 940 is a pretty amazing mic for the price. I mean, it's as close as you're going to get tube-wise, for $1,600. That's insane. The U47, my particular U47, has an incredible pedigree. It's been the vocal mic on so many great records. So many great singers have sung through it. That's one of the best microphones in the world. So, to compare like with like, it came pretty darn close. I like the Lewitt on vocals full tube. I think the blend will have some uses. Maybe somebody that has a really super boomy fat voice, you might want to back it back towards the FET, get some of that hardness back in. Personally, on a voice like mine, I like the full tube as opposed to the full FET. Remember, the singer will dictate the mic. A 47, 90% of the time I use that on vocals. But I've worked with singers that sound great on SM57s, and I've worked with singers that sound great on 414s, and all kinds of different mics. An SM7 in particular is quite a well-known kind of rock mic. So for $1,600, you could get the Lewitt, and you could kind of get so many different sounds, from one microphone, and it's very easy to use. I do like the amount of low and roll-off that you can do. I think, that high pass filter is very flexible, which means it could be a utility mic that you could use in many, many situations. So thanks ever so much for watching. Please subscribe below, go to producelikeapro.com and hit me up with some questions. I'm going to be using these microphones from now on many different sources. So if you have questions on how you'd like to use them, how you can use them, and in what situations, I will be happy to answer those questions. So go to producelikeapro.com, sign up for the email list, get exclusive access to videos and files to download, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.